Hi, everybody. Mike Gauthier here from the National Arts Center. We're here at One Elgin Restaurant and thrilled to be welcoming Chef Latoya Fagan. Chef, hello.
Hello.
She has a bit of a rough voice today, so let's be chill, shall we?
It's my sultry, sexy voice.
How do you present yourself to people?
Man, I don't know. I'm grateful. I think that's one of my biggest things. I like to always remind everybody that how grateful and blessed I am for the career that I've been able to accomplish.
Yeah.
Look where I am right now with you, doing this amazing event. It's been an amazing week. You guys have all been so welcoming.
What triggered the passion for making food to start? Is it family? Was it friends? Was it a work experience?
I think it was definitely family. Just coming from a Jamaican background, food was the center of everything. Even if you didn't have a lot, you still made what you could.
Right.
But when I originally went and got to school, it was actually for public relations and advertising. It wasn't for this. But then my mom had gotten a job and she went to the States for about a year.
Okay.
But then I was like, I need to learn how to do stuff. My mom gave me basics, but I couldn't cook like her.
Okay.
So I just went and actually started taking part-time classes at George Brown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I really liked it. And I was like, oh. And then I enrolled in the culinary arts program. And You're about to age me. 18 years later, here we are.
But there's a difference between learning how to cook and starting your own business.
Yeah.
Why the starting your own business part? Why wasn't it sufficient for you to simply work for someone else?
Because that does not work for me.
That's awesome. So did you start on your own from the get-go?
Oh my God.
You finished that course and you're that's it, I'm starting my own business?
No. I did my apprenticeship at the King Edwards Hotel in Toronto. And then I just staged around at a bunch of different restaurants and places like that. And even when I started doing the catering when I was in my early 20s, I was cooking out of my parents' kitchen.
It's a one-woman show here.
Yeah. Met this amazing man, David Lockett, and I used to help him with at-risk youth, about this thing called the PAC program.
Sweet.
And it was at-risk youth, and he hired me to teach young offenders and at-risk youth life skills, which was cooking and reform and how to help mom at home and give them a purpose so they kind of keep them out of trouble.
Yeah.
So we were doing that, and then David built this awesome kitchen for me, and that's where I started doing my catering out of that kitchen. It was this huge kitchen. So I was like, hey, you know what? I want to come back to Scarborough, get my kitchen there. So I moved, left that massive space. Then I got this little space, was no more than about 600 square feet. I got a little yellow desk, probably no bigger than this, and that was my office.
Yeah.
And then I had a stove. I had very little. I had a closet for my pantry and storage at the same time. And we were still taking on jobs for TIFF and those things big time, because nobody knew the size of our kitchen. They didn't need to know as long as we produced the food.
And what is this connection to the Raptors? So I heard that do you cook for the team or just for certain players on the team?
Certain players on the team.
And I guess I'm curious to know how the link came about with...
Do you want to hear another story?
Yeah, please. God, yes, absolutely.
Don't you love stories?
Oh my God. Well, you're in the right place for stories, let me tell you.
So another friend of mine, he was like, okay, well, have somebody that's looking to have somebody come and do some meals and stuff for an athlete. And I said, okay, yeah, sure. And he's like, I'll do an email introduction for you. I said, no problem. He's an email introduction to this guy, Alex. And he's like, okay, I need you to come down. I want you to come down and meet me at the office. I said, okay, no problem. He gives me the address. And I just get in my car and I drive. And then when I go to park, I'm like, this is the Air Canada Center. I swear to God, I cannot even make this up. So I call Alex. I said, hey, I'm outside. He's like, come to gate 2. And I'm like, oh, we're going inside. But I'm like, okay, maybe there's more stuff going on inside the ACC. It's not just... And he comes in, he walks out, and it's Alex McKenzie, who's the director of sports science for the Raptors. I don't know if you know the white hair guy. He's always, yeah. And I was like, don't throw up. And then he walks me in, totally trying to be cool, right? And he's like, yeah, let me show you around. And he brings me into the locker room and stuff. And I'm like, don't throw up. Because I'm a huge Raptors fan. And yeah, that's kind of, and he introduced me to 2 of the players. This is when Bismack used to be here, Bismack Biombo.
Yep.
So I was with Bismack, and then Yeah, then I did like 4 seasons, and they would just give me different guys. I'd have like JV, or I'd have like Norman, or I'd have like Serge was my main guy.
Yeah.
I was with Serge for like 2 seasons.
Okay.
Abaka, yeah.
And how was that experience of cooking for them? Like, was it easy?
No.
Did you find it was like high pressure? Like,
Oh,
was it
yeah,
was
no.
it super precise in that everybody has got their own regimen and they need to eat, certain things all the
Yeah,
time?
everybody's on like different diets. Like their managers will generally like email me at the beginning of the week and be like, "Okay, this is what we want them to eat." Or the trainers will be like, "Don't let them fool you. They might want to eat this. Make sure they eat that." But then, so you're trying to listen to that, but then the guy who's eating the food is like, "This is not what I want," and I'm like, "Who do I talk to?"
I just want to back up a bit simply because when did you know that not only do I own a business, but this is a viable business and I'm going to have this as long as I want it?
What year is it now?
Let's see, 23?
And that's the answer. 2023. As blessed as I am,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? At any time,
It can go
COVID taught
away.
us that.
Yeah.
If you did not understand the word pivot,
Well, you went to takeaway, I imagine.
yep. Did family meal deals, a lot of family, because parents were home with their kids, which some parents were not used to that,
Yeah.
right?
Totally.
So that was a lot of those packages. And then the takeaways and the curbside pickups, those helped a lot.
So you survived.
Yeah, God is good. I did.
Because I mean, I feel like we're back to normal now, and
Yep.
I'd say we're back to normal. We've been back to normal for about since last September, I'd say.
I'd
for
say,
us.
yeah, we're finally back up. And now we're literally in a full-blown recession. So even though events are happening, the budgets are not the same.
Right. Like when the NEC reached out to you, what did you think of doing for the food?
And like the flavor profiles in Caribbean and Jamaican food and West Indian food is so outstanding. There's so many different layers to it, and the spices and the heat. And I wanted to take my food and elevate it. And Chef Lear and his team, they have over-exceeded that to see how they put it on a plate. It was like art. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start doing it this way now.
What do you want your business to become, or is it already exactly everything you wanted it to be?
I always said like one of my things was to be one of the most sought after chefs in the country. I want to leave a legacy that I elevated my type of heritage food to that next high-end level where people are gonna be like, I understand why this is this. I understand. I want to reach more people with the food because a lot of places in Canada, you can't get authentic West Indian and that kind of food. So that'd be like the legacy, and that I'd want to be in, Jamaican food with a twist.
That seems like a wave you can ride all the way to the end of your career.
Yeah,
actually.
man. Sleep when you're dead, right?
I mean, that just seems like the moment to wrap it up. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time.